Welcome students, welcome to this class of Biology plus 2, and we are having an introduction lecture for the plus 2 Biology. It contains botany and zoology all in combined thing, but more over the general things. It has large scale covering of each and every unit. Like reproduction, it will cover the human reproduction as well as the plants. So both the things of botany and zoology both are contained in a single unit. Similarly, in genetics and evolution, there are genetics and evolution related to the animals, related to the human beings, related to many other living beings, and as well as the plants. So this means the plants are also inclusive in these units also. This means the botany is also contained in it. And similarly, biology and human welfare, biotechnology. In that biotechnology, we will go for the mutations in the human body and along with the genetically produced seeds, and ecology and environment that contains particularly to the human things done to the environment, along with the botanical changes in the ecology and the environment around us. Fine. Welcome students. And we are warmly welcoming you for this topic on the plus 2 biology, and this contains on the reproduction. First of all, we want to study the reproduction in plants. How do plants reproduce? It is a general lecture. It will acquaint you up that what are the proper uses of plant-based theory. And now reproduction in plants. In generally we can say so in the animals, reproduction is like male and female separately producing a zygote or producing a child or producing an egg, anything else like that. That is properly mutation of male reproductive cells and the female reproductive cells. What do happen in plants? Very similar. Until since last century, we didn't know about anything in the medical science stream that how do plants reproduce. But finally, we have got to know that in a flower there is a thing known as stigma. There is ovary in it, and there are filaments having the anther and antheridium, and pollen grains inside this anther tube. This is the male reproductive system and this is the female. And from here, if any bee will come or any creature will come, it will carry the pollen grains with its fur and drop that pollen grains into this stigma, and it will reach the ovary, and here the seed will start formation. So this process can be in a single flower, or there can be male flowers and separate female flowers too. So flowers containing the female reproductive systems are known as female flowers. Flowers containing the male reproductive systems are known as male flowers. And flowers, there can be flowers in which in a single flower there are both the systems contained in it. There are male reproductive systems and there are female reproductive systems. So in generally, basically the zygote, basically the seed is created due to the transference of male gametes to the female gametes. Okay. Similar thing do occurs in the human beings or in the animals. Animals, there are asexual type of reproduction in which there is no concussion between the male or the female reproductive system, like amoeba. It self-reproduces itself. It is the asexual kind of reproduction, Schlemidomonas. So these are the number of things in it. But in animals, we have male reproductive system and female reproductive system. Male reproductive system have testes along with the penis, and we have the sperm cells, and sperm cells have a particular shape with the cap of acrosome over it and having the genetic material infused in the sperm cell. whenever the penis elongates and transfers the genetic material in the form of the sperm cells or spermatozoa in particular we say towards the vaginal tract and reaching out to the cervix and finally transferring that material into the fundus, and from there the male reproductive system. So in the female reproductive system there is a vaginal tract that is known as vagina. There is finally reaching into the cervix, and after the cervix there is a fundus of region of we say uterus, and finally there are fallopian tubes, and on the fallopian tubes there are ovaries stricken over them, and in the ovaries there are ovums which are unmatured follicles. After maturing that becomes ova, and matured egg transfers from the fundus of institution to the follicle tubes through, and here at ampulla region where the moving sperm cells move out to reach there and connect with the ovum and become a zygote. So from here the zygote transfers onto the fundus of uterus and sticks with the one of the three walls. It is like that. Out of these three walls it sticks with anything, and here starts formation of from the zygote single cell organism to multi-cell organism. Fine. So this is what the reproduction in animals is basically. Okay. There is second number chapter is genetics. How do the nature of a person in the single family remains the same? What is the caste system? Is it a man-made or is it truly scientific? It is truly scientific. What is caste basically? It basically defines on a genetic system of a particular single family. It is a genetic system or genetic coding of a single family. What are the genes? Genes are your character set. A set of chromosomes being present in the body is known as gene. Gene defines the nature of a person. Gene defines the color, genes define the height, gene defines the nature, gene defines the adaptiveness, gene defines the behavior in the different temperatures, different zones. So all things are dependent on genes. Fine. So can these genes be varied? We can do something with the genes by ourselves to create a person? Yes, now we can. That is known as genetic engineering. And genetic modification. We can modify genes. There were plants which needed a lot of water. There were plant seeds which were not truly ambient to their atmosphere. So we have modified their seeds. Now they can survive in less water. They can survive in adaptive atmospheres, different kind of atmospheres. And moreover, we have increased their productive quality. They have increased the production. BT cotton, biotechnologically produced cotton seeds. Now they produce more cotton than earlier days. Now it is more white in color rather than earlier it was yellowish in color, more yellow in color. So we have modified the genetic traits of the cotton. Similarly, we have modified fruits, mangoes. Only a 4 feet height plant can have 20 to 50 mangoes within a reach of 1 or 2 years, or within few months also. So now this is the new world of evolution. You have watched the movies X-Men, genetically modified persons. Genes variations are there. Okay. So evolution is what? We all have evolved from a single common animal. have evolved from a single common animal. Like our traits are matching from monkey, rhesus monkey. So monkey have two hands and two legs, but slowly and steadily that grow and evolved into ape, and slowly that ape become a Homo erectus, and then Homo sapiens. This means evolution exists there. We find out that there were no birds earlier because bat has similar hand features as fish has in the fins. This means fish were either earlier a bird or the bat was either earlier a fish, or both were the ground creatures. Later on they adapted to fly and they adapted to swim. Hands were converted into fins. Legs were converted into the back fins in the fishes. So all the bones in the legs in the human being are similar, having the 5 toes, 5 fingers, 1 ankle, all are present in the fins too. In the bat, flying bird, in the bat's wing, we have an elbow, a former hand, and further 5 fingers. And that have clamped with the paper-like structure, and it has become a wing. Basically, it is naturally an arm. Arm developed into a wing. So this is known as evolution. It is the adaptativeness of body according to the requirement of the structure all around, and body adapts it not in a day. It takes hundreds and thousands of years to evolve into a new species. So all the species were evolved out of some common species. So that is known as evolution. Then biology in human welfare. Now biology has a lot of depth in the human welfare all around us. Since all the medication system, all what we are seeing today is contemporarily being provided to us indirectly by biology, and helping the chemistry in it to make some chemicals for the beneficial results on the human body. Biology has a lot of human welfare products like how to live, how to sustain, how to adapt, how to find out different solutions for the different kind of diseases. Earlier we didn't knew how many diseases are being occurring. हम उसको कह देते थे कि ये प्रेत चढ़ गया है, but we know now these are some bacteria. These are due to some viruses. Earlier, if in any place there was plague there, all the villages were cleaned off. Every person dies there. Now we have solutions to all these kind of diseases like cholera, like plague, like many more diseases. Since we have covered out of a large scale COVID-19, and India has survived out of it, and just due to because of availability of the better medication system and better technology. So in the human welfare, biology has given its a lot of roles. Biotechnology. Now the technology related to the gene mutation, gene transformation, gene encryption is known as biotechnology. In this chapter we will study that how the genes can be modified. So that is known as biotechnology. And ecology and environment. All the nature around us is basically the ecology. The water systems, the springs, the land, the biomes, the atmosphere systems around us. So we have to grow, but not on their sake. We must have factories, but not so much pollution must be given that all the environment will be troubled out. So for the survival of the best human beings, growth must not be updated on for the sake of or for the destruction of ecology and environment. Right nowadays, Joshimath is declining, and all this is occurring because of the development in some other parts. have caused such a factor, and naturally the land is not going to stay such a high level boulders weight over it. That is just created from the natural glacier taken away sand or silt. ग्लेशियर्स अपने साथ जो नदियों की बाढ़ लेके आते हैं और जो मिट्टी जमा होती है उसमें जोशीमठ बना हुआ, वो मिट्टी के ऊपर अगर आप छोटा मोटा मकान बना लेते हैं तो कोई बात नहीं है, दिक्कत की लकड़ी का मकान है कुछ भी, मगर अगर आप उसके ऊपर हैवी कंक्रीट के बोल्डर्स लगाते हैं, ऊपर 4-5 मंजिलों में लेंटर डालते हैं, तो वजन तो कई क्विंटल कई टन बढ़ेगा, तो नीचे की मिट्टी खिसक जाएगी, जब खिसकेगी तो दरारें आएंगी। और अगर बड़े हाई स्केल पे कंस्ट्रक्शंस होंगी, गवर्नमेंट लेवल पे पुल बनेंगे, तो अच्छी बात है, तरक्की होने के लिए बनने चाहिए, परंतु अगर उसको साइंटिफिकली नहीं बनाया गया कि ये ज़मीन कितना वजन झेल सकती है, ठीक है, इसको कहाँ से क्रॉस ओवर देना जरूरी है, तो फिर वो खिसक जाएंगे। तो these things are occurring. So ecology and environment is in such a way very important aspect for the biology. बायोलॉजी ही हमें बताएगी कि इकोलॉजी और एनवायरनमेंट को कैसे स्टडी किया जाए और उसको भी सेव रखना हमारे लिए क्यों ज़रूरी है। ठीक है, धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच।